Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Scoop. I don't usually do this from my house, so I hope everything's okay. I hope the transitions and everything was as smooth as possibly could be. This is going to be a little bit of a unique show, but this is just a disclaimer for you guys that are watching on Twitter. I will get into the stuff now for the podcast, guys. So hopefully everything is okay. You can hear me. I've been messing about with the OBS this morning to try and make it scoopified. Obviously in Graham's absence because it's his birthday. But we'll get into the proper intro, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, everyone. We are Ice Cream. This is a self-proclaimed UK's #1 video game podcast, and we bring you the daily dose of video game news each and every single weekday. My name is We've got Bibby. We've got Benio, aka Bibby, aka Lord Bibbington, Saviour of Morrowind. This is great. No, it's not, because he's not here today. It's his birthday. Happy 45th birthday to Mr. Graham Day. I don't know whether or not you're watching. You're probably out eating fat food somewhere, because that is what you do on your birthday. You got all that free shit. But we are Ice Cream Uploads, and we give you our thoughts and impressions on the video game news that we're going to bring you today. As I said, it is going to be a very condensed show. We are doing... Obviously, I wanted to keep this going because you guys love to come in the morning and talk about video games, and we also love to do that too. So I'm giving you something either on podcast services or on YouTube, or for you guys that are obviously live that like to get involved with the conversation. It is also important that you do that, as I mentioned, because this does get turned into an MP3 to be able to digest however you want, whether that'll be Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, or Spotify, and I managed to nail them straight off the bat. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be a great show. Anyway, before we jump into the news, I would like to give a very special welcome to all the boys that are in the chat today: Steel Banzai, Magic, and also me, because that's what I just did. And also we had a whole. Let me see if the chat bot's working on my end, because obviously Graham, as I said, does this from his side, so I have to do everything this morning, which never goes well when I have to drive something. I'm usually the guy behind the camera setting things up, not someone who produces the content as we go along. Unless I'm not in front of the camera, because I lose all train of thought. But the chat bot is coming on, so hopefully everything's okay. Hey, Asim's in the chat, and so is Dave. How is it going, guys? Lake, welcome. Morning, Shaggers. So as I said, this is going to be a very condensed show today. We're probably going to go for about half an hour, 45 minutes, just to be able to... the token's gone. No. Okay, so there is no chat bot this morning. It's something that we can't get hold of because we can't use it. But yeah, everything else will be fine. It's the only thing that we use in the chat bot anyway. You know where to find us. It's Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms. I will drop in a link to the Discord as and when throughout the show, so you know where to go to. But you shaggers are already in there. You already know that, and it'll be in the description for YouTube as well. So let me see whether or not the scenes that I've created actually work, because it'll be an absolute disaster if I just go through, plow through, and then don't make any notice of it. So, Scoop camera, let's try this bad boy. Okay, yes. I definitely could have made it a little bit bigger. But yeah, it looks like everything's working as it should be. I can see the microphone moving. If I keep on looking to the left, that's usually where the chat's going on. And I have to keep looking left now, because that is where the OBS stuff is. Again, I apologise for you guys that are listening to this on podcast and demand. I don't usually do the show from home, so it could be an absolute disaster zone. But I still want to give you some news. We still want to give you your daily video games news. So you can set you up for the day. All you guys over in America, that's where most of our SoundCloud listeners are. You're waking up tomorrow thinking, Bibby and Graham are on. Graham's not here. It's just me today. It is his birthday. He won't be back tomorrow. He will be back on Monday as we go to give you your starting podcast for the week. Lake says, I can hear you now. Rage, next gen style in FIFA. Oh, I haven't got it downloaded actually. That's a very good shout. I didn't. Well, I don't know if I know. This is a small tangent, but my PlayStation 5 doesn't seem to be downloading stuff when it's in rest mode again. Now, this is that was the biggest bugbear that I had on PlayStation 4. You leave it in rest mode, apparently it downloads its patch. It doesn't. It didn't. My PlayStation 5 is doing the exact same thing, even though I've ticked the little box thing to say download patches. It's not doing it. It's a whole thing. But anyway, Madge, welcome, sir. Hope you're all doing okay this morning. So I've only got 3 news articles for you today, obviously, because I don't think it would be a good podcast if it's just heavily one-sided. So I'm going to need as much content from you guys that are in the chat today. You are the MVPs. You're the guys that are here every single time. So I appreciate all the love that you guys are giving us. I'm going to need your help, because this is going to be heavily one-sided from me. and no one likes to listen to a Mancunian ramble on for 40 minutes. So we're going to jump straight into the first news article. It is actually a banging show today, to be fair. We have got a lot to be able to get through, but it's banging articles. Do you know what I mean? There's a little bit of a thing in there that you probably didn't think was going to happen, but here we go. Let's see if this works. If you'd seen the tweet that went live, this one is obviously going to be about Amazon. Please work. Oh, thank Christ for that. Woo! We are rolling, ladies and gentlemen. So Amazon UK have confirmed it will secure new PlayStation 5s for customers whose orders went missing. Now, first things first. How are they going to... I could have... If I'd have ordered from Amazon, I could have just put... what's that? A Gusto machine. Yeah, so it's a coffee maker. I could have put a coffee maker in there and said, listen, what are you playing at, lads? I've got a free coffee machine and I'm now getting a PlayStation 5. But anyway, we'll jump into the article and we'll figure it out as we go along. That's what we love to do here. So Amazon UK has told customers whose PlayStation 5 pre-orders went missing on the month that they will reserve new consoles for them. And by the way, a small disclaimer as well. My reading is okay. I tend to stutter my words. Obviously not Xbox boss, like Graham gets caught up with, but I do tend to stutter my words. So again, I apologise, but don't come at me. In an email sent to customers, including Push Square's Anthony Deakins, the retailer said that they have until this Saturday, December 5th, to let them know if they would like to be charged for a new console. Once you give you permission to be charged, we will reserve your PlayStation 5 and you won't need to place another order with us, the message reads. Please note that this offer is solely for the purpose of replacing a PlayStation 5 that you ordered. It cannot be transferred to another customer and cannot be used to purchase additional units of the PlayStation 5. Amazon has previously refunded the dozens of UK-based customers who claimed that their PlayStation 5s did not arrive as scheduled. The console's November 19th launch date, despite being marked as delivered by couriers. Many customers reported receiving erroneous items in place of their PlayStation 5 consoles, such as kitchen appliances, cat food, and also empty boxes. There is a message in there that is pretty much what I've just read. It's a tweet embedded by Anthony Deakins. The issue became widespread through the draw attention mainstream media, including the BBC, which featured the issue during its customer rights segment of The One Show, which is watched by up to 5 million viewers each week. Jesus Christ. Who's watching The One Show? Forget about it. At this time, a spokesperson for Amazon apologised for the failed deliveries and promised to investigate the issue. Many of the Amazon UK customers who had their PlayStation 5 pre-orders go missing have alleged foul play on part of the delivery drivers, with one even filming their courier failing to deliver the next-gen console. In parentheses, Amazon later claimed that it cut ties with the driver, close parentheses. Another Amazon UK customer posted a video on Twitter of them confronting their delivery driver after they allegedly marked their PlayStation 5 as delivered without actually doing so. Birmingham-based George? Okay. Birmingham-based George claimed that it took a week to receive a response from Amazon after its PS5 did not arrive. Console has been lost in transit, aka stolen. Actions may be taken against the driver. Not good enough, he wrote. Refund given, and they are not able to prioritise new stock. Mentioned nothing about additional controller. Also, that it was stolen. Given a 50... Oh... Hey, raid from Farian Drake. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you very much. Given a £50 gift card is an absolute insult given the amount of time I'd spent chasing one up, anxiety I've received from the intimidation of the driver, and the amount of time I'm going to have to spend sourcing a new console. Priority on the new stock is a must. PlayStation 5 remains sold out. You don't need to know the facts and figures. We already covered that yesterday. So, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like it's kicked off big time, and we have Amazon giving people priority when it comes to ordering new consoles. Is this the right move? Me personally, it absolutely is. You cannot have people's consoles go missing and then say get back in queue again. It doesn't work like that. It wouldn't work like that if you was to go into a shop yourself and walk up to the delivery counter. 9 times out of 10, if you are a customer that's had a problem, you have a customer service desk, and then you may have to wait in a very small queue there, but you will not have to wait behind 10,000 people waiting to get the same item. This doesn't work like that. I'm very interested to see how Amazon themselves decide to try and come up with new ways to find out who actually got what, because if they knew that people was getting cat food or some sort of coffee machine, then they wouldn't have let the parcels go out in the first place. At what point, I've got Amazon boxes here, I could put something in there, I could put a kettle in there and say, look, I've received a kettle. What are you going to do about it? and they'll go, okay, no worries, here's £300, and you're going to get a new one. How are they figuring out what actually happened? Is there a cut-off point? Is it only under certain circumstances? Is it because you contacted us within the first 48 hours, 24 hours of this being done? Like, how are they actually going to be able to do that? So it's very difficult for, I think, Amazon to be able to do it. So I think they will actually make a loss on it, especially if they've ended up refunding the customer, and then they'll then get another one. So you could basically get two for the price of one. Interesting. But again, Farian, thank you very much for the raid this morning. We appreciate it. How was your stream? How are you doing? Well, it's evening for you, innit? This fine evening. Gaga, good morning, gent. Good morning to you, sir. Yes, it is only me today. Magic says, cut ties with the driver with a young knife emoji. Farian says, driver a lot of times doesn't even know what he's giving. Something like that isn't in the box. I agree. I think when it comes down to this, it's probably 50-50. There has been a lot of instances where drivers have been scalping these consoles. I think there was one video of a bloke opening the back of his van, taking the console, and then putting the console into the back of his car after his scanner has been delivered. If you've been caught on video doing that, you're a fucking idiot for a start. But yeah, there's and then obviously the people who've been picking and packaging. That's the thing that we mentioned yesterday with the Watchdog investigation, shall we say? Like, this could go deeper. How many people are in a delivery chain? How many people are picking it? How many people are packaging it? How many people are putting it onto the back of a van? And who's actually delivering this? It could be up to 5 people. It could just be 2 people. It could just be one person taking it off the shelf and putting it onto the back of the van, and then the person delivering it would be delivering it to your front door. It could just be 2. Who knows? So this could be a massive web that gets unraveled. It may end up turning out a little bit more ugly for Amazon as we go down the line, but who actually knows? Steel Bonsai says, it's ridiculous how bad these delivery drivers are and how blatant they are at stealing people's consoles because of what's happening. It's interesting, though, because a lot of people have Ring doorbells now, and we've seen evidence of this. Asim loves a good Ring doorbell video camera of Hassam the Legend, Hassam the Hero, sorry, delivering all of his new stock. So yeah, a lot of people have this stuff, so it's very interesting how they can get away with delivering it to the next door neighbor, but actually they're just put it in the back of their own van. It doesn't surprise me if they tried knocking on someone's door, or didn't even knock at the door, just post one of the blue leaflets through the door to say your package is at next door, and then run off to the van. Do you know what I mean? There's all these different things.
Stay frosty, yeah.
Woo!
You got time to sub now. Back to work. 3 loves.
Hey, Enix, thank you very much. You see, when Graham usually does this, I don't get to hear any of the stuff that comes through because obviously I've just got a clean feed to him. So getting to hear stay frosty, yeah, quality. Thank you very much for the 9-month sub, Enix. We very much appreciate that. Obviously, you just heard the TTS there. So yeah, yeet, time to get a sub. Now back in work. Thank you very much, mate. We appreciate it, and congratulations on getting back into work again. I know it's a very difficult time for a lot of people that have been made redundant. You're managing to find work. Absolutely beautiful, mate. Ferry and Drake says it could be the person in the warehouse. Exactly. Your stream was great. You did art perfect. Are you still doing emojis and things like that for people and making new logos? Wasn't you doing one for Epic Skill? I did see Epic Skill this morning, actually. He popped in. He just put a load of raids. Yeah, up the ICU. We love to see it. A lot of drivers hate their job and couldn't understand why, but most of them don't give a crap about your parcels. You see, I agree that most of them probably hate the jobs because there is a lot of people out there that just do jobs to pay the bills, which is obviously why you get a job in the first place. But how do you make yourself unhireable in the future, stealing people's shit and getting caught on camera doing it? No one's going to touch you. Will never be able to work in retail again or a delivery driver. Your job options become very limited at that point. So is it worth it? Probably not. I mean, morally, it's not worth it. I apologize. I am drinking at the same time. I have got the driest throat in the world after reading all this stuff. Again, I love you guys. Steve Banzai also says, I've been a victim on this where the driver gave me my parcels over to the wrong house and allowed them to sign for it. Yeah, I mean, next we've got where I've moved to, our neighbours are actually really sound, so they'll take our parcels, and it doesn't happen very often, but we all take each other's parcels, and it's really sound. They just come on, knock on. You know what's really weird? I never actually noticed this until our neighbour came round to come and collect theirs. They walk around with the thing in the hand. Not like you don't know who they are or what the name is next door or what door they live at. They come round with the blue ticket as if like you're the post office and go, can you stand this way, please? I don't know why I bring this. It made me piss. It made me piss. For all we know, the pickers could just be telling drivers which ones to nick. Exactly. It could just run so much deeper. Asim says, yes, mate. Steel Bonsai does the sub. Perfect. And he says, hope chat's well. One of the OGs is missing. Yes. If you're talking about Graham, that's absolutely true. Yes, sir. I'm working on one for Epic Suit. Yeah. I'm here. Epic's here too. Great style. Steel Bonsai says, agreed. Nearly got a PS5 and a 20-inch Samsung 24K TV about 45 minutes ago because the delivery driver got the wrong stream rating for about 20 minutes. I had a PS5 and was in 2 minds whether to call it or keep it back. I'll give it to the delivery company, but I could be a dick, so I called them. Absolutely legend, Dave. That's the kind of honesty that we love to see. So again, yeah, that is the Amazon issue that they've got. I have no idea how they're going to be able to go forward with this. It's going to be very difficult for them to be able to monitor this situation, especially when they didn't know what was in the packages in the first place. But I mean, they've got money to burn. If they just wanted to give 400 people who've come forward £300, I don't even think that is a second's worth of money that they take in. So yeah, I mean, customer satisfaction is their number one priority. Moving swiftly on to the to our next article. I just kind of let it slip a little bit there, but yeah, this one is obviously about the announcement that made yesterday by CD Projekt Red. I've just clicked the wrong one, so we'll go to this one again, and hopefully it comes on the screen. Yeah, here we go. Cyberpunk 2077 streams and Let's Plays will be taken down ahead of release. Now, is this, and I need your help, someone like Asim, your help would be greatly appreciated here. Has this ever happened before? Have stuff been taken down before it's managed to come out? And now I know people may put DMCA stuff on there, obviously that's usually made for music, but it's very interesting to see how they're going to be able to monitor this. And the threat that they made in there as well is, I don't think I've ever seen someone make a direct threat like this before, but here we go. CD Projekt Red doesn't want you to post streams or Let's Plays of Cyberpunk 2077 before its official release date. If you do post any of these or any similar content to Cyberpunk before December 10th, it will be taken down by the company. The reason CDPR doesn't want folks to spoil us ahead of time. Here is the notice. Now, this is obviously written in the logo itself. A lot of people were shitting themselves because when they usually put this white, yellow background, hey! Shogun
Enough
with the
time
sub
for
as
a
well.
baby, you sexy man.
Enough time for a baby, you sexy man. How's it going, show? Thank you very much for the sub. 9 months, you absolute hero. So yeah, as mentioned, a lot of people yesterday were shitting themselves because as soon as I put this template out there, it's very difficult. Well, it's not very difficult. Sorry, that's the word I'm looking for. You usually ask for that because you think, oh my god, they're going to be putting it back again. But the statement reads, we're getting closer to launch and the chances of some of you will get your hands on the copy of Cyberpunk 2077 before its release date. However difficult this might be for us to achieve, our ambition for gamers across all the world is to have the game spoiler-free experience as the game releases. This is why we kindly ask you not to stream, Let's Play, or release any similar content before December 9th. That's my birthday, bitches! 12 p.m. CET and 3 a.m. PST. We will send Max Tack. You know these guys. This is very small for me to be able to read on the screen, so I apologise. You can't see me moving forward anyway. We will send Max Tack. You know the guys that take down videos after everyone who does. After this date, however, we would love you, sorry, to be streaming this everything like there is no tomorrow. It's 2020. Who knows? Maybe there isn't. The company warns folks not to post content. I've just read that. Look at the game's photo mode is released. Blah 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 blah. So, my question to you, lovely guys in the chat: has this been done before? And I can see that the chat has started to fill back up again. We have Gary saying, "Bib, morning, pal. Morning to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us this morning." Farian says, it's like signing a disclosure. Breach of it causes RIP to your channel. Lake says, I wish I was only 30. Steel Bonsai says, off topic but a quick one. I need to be remote with Team Game Pass and Shop 2. I have 3 months on offer for 24. Just wondered if Shop 2 legit. Also, CD Keys have an offer, but I've heard mixed reviews about them. Ultimate Game Pass 24. I think I've had that one before. Shop 2 is also super legit, by the way. A lot of people have got their consoles from there over the years, so yeah, that definitely is a place for you to be able to go through. So, getting back onto the topic though, Asim says, yup, this happens a lot. Can be done to both Twitch and YouTube. I've seen it. Oh, he's done it in the past. Okay, interesting. I was wondering how they're going to be able to do this. So does your channel get deleted, or do they delete your VOD? Because that is a very fine line to be treading. Like, there's probably a lot of people out there that would have, like, in the past, for instance, when I've ordered from the games collection, I have received copies of PES like up to 10 days before. Obviously, I wasn't streaming them, because I wasn't a streamer back then. But would someone who's not on Twitter or not on social media, that they have the game, they're playing it, they're recording it, they're sharing it with their friends on Facebook, but they don't follow the Cyberpunk account, they're not in the video game world, what happens to that? Like, how do you get around that? I think that'll be quite hard for you to be able to try and manage or police. But still, if obviously you are a streamer, you're probably following Cyberpunk. You've been following the account for the last 2 years, since we got the first teaser. So you know ahead of time that if you're streaming this, then channel's going to be taken down. But for the average Joe that isn't in the video game world like we are, obviously you shaggers in the chat live and breathe it as well as we do. And also people that are watching us on some podcasts. Morning. You guys all love video games. That's why you want to listen to this kind of podcast. So we know the consequences of doing it, shall we say. We don't want to risk our channel. We don't want to risk this channel going down the Swanee, so there's no more Scoop. There's no more video games. There's no more Masters of the League. There's no more PUBG. So we will adhere to this kind of thing anyway. Obviously, we work in video games as well, so that's just a nice thing to be able to adhere to. You're giving the nod to them, saying we respect all your work that you've done. We won't post any content out. I mean, we'll be buying the game. We're buying this game and posting it out as and when we can off our own backs, because we haven't got any sponsorship or advertising for this game. But yeah, for the average Joe, I think that's very difficult to be able to try and police. So going back through the chat again, Shogun says happened. I was supposed to. It was PES 2018, I think. Steel Bonsai says I need to renew my Game Pass. Sorry, on my crap phone. Asim says it's not usually publicised like this. So yes, a silent takedown. I can absolutely understand that, but the phrase that they used, it kind of makes me think, ooh, it's like, is it threatening language? I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm, scared or anything, but we will send Max Tack, the guys who take down videos, after everyone who does tongue-in-cheek. I can see that being quite funny because obviously they don't mean it in an aggressive manner. However, it could come across like that. So as a PR statement, it's very weird for them to be able to go like this, but with the tone of voice of what Cyberpunk is, you can absolutely see it being kind of like a jokey joke kind of thing. So maybe that's not the be all and end all, but I think this is quite weird. The video is deleted both Twitch and YouTube. As long as the channel doesn't go. Well, I mean, is a consequential channel going? I don't know. The content gets deleted and then sometimes a strike, I believe. The strike is probably the best way to go. A strike is probably the nicest way to go. But people will probably thrive off that, don't they? Like being the first channel that's had a strike against Cyberpunk. My channel's had a strike against it because I've been streaming. Some people see that shit as a badge of honor, weirdos. But obviously you just end up becoming... You end up becoming alienated from the rest of the community. Like, if you do this to Cyberpunk, what are the chances like someone like EA or Capcom or Ubisoft will want to use you if it has been given to you in the future? Like, if you end up becoming a full-time streamer, people and companies will not touch you when it comes to shit like this because you're just being a dick for the sake of a little bit of clout. But hey-oh, some people just live for that shit. Infamous rather than famous. Asim says the person would get notified with a reason legally covered by terms. There we go. Epic Skill says depends on your severity. It could be as simple as losing your VOD. If you don't spoil too much, it could be an account deletion. Extreme cases, a lawsuit. Interesting. Imagine getting taken to court for something like this. Again, infamous rather than famous. Truth is, even if you delete your VODs, they're actually still stored. Apparently so. It's the same with clips. You could delete all of your clips. We've seen this a lot over Twitch, on Twitch over the last 2 months. I think the big DMCA stuff was about 4 months ago, and people were losing their minds, deleting all the stuff, losing memories from 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even longer, which is obviously heartbreaking. And then after doing that, they're still getting copyright strikes because it's being held on a server somewhere else, which is a pain in the ass, but hopefully they'll get reversed. Twitch used to be a harder process. YouTube is easy, but if the volume is high, it can take time for someone to do. I had to take down hundreds once. Jesus Christ. Steel Bonsai says Devil Nash did a video about this, how Twitch needs to sort this out big time. Asim says I think CDPR just speaking in their tone of voice of the game. It's not super harsh or anything, just letting them know or harsh or extreme measures if the person has done it repeatedly. But that's more down to Twitch and YouTube terms of service. Again, I said I think it could be down to the tone of voice of what the Cyberpunk universe is. If you've watched the game and you've seen the atmosphere, it comes across in the same tone of voice of that. Obviously, if it is a new account, you're trying to find the tone of voice and how to speak to your community, and this I think absolutely fits the bill. But again, it always comes down to the average Joe. We are the minority when it comes to video games because we live and breathe them. The majority of people, which we know, nobody in the video game world, unless you're trying to sell to them, account for that, which is very difficult. Obviously, usually in an echo chamber, and a very small minority of people who usually either think the same or have some kind of lingering difference between what you think and somebody else. But there is hundreds of thousands, even millions of people that you will never come across who have a completely different opinion, and they just pick up the game to play it. They won't be streaming it. They won't be talking to their mates about it. They'll dip in, complete it 40 hours, and then never touch it again. That's just the casual gamer. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with taking in media. I'm not a massive film buff. I watch a lot of films. I watch TV series all the time, but I wouldn't say that I'm an absolute film connoisseur when it comes to games, obviously, and a music connoisseur as well. But when it comes to films, not really. I'll do love films. I can watch them, but it's the same as video games. There's a lot of people don't listen to music. They'll just listen to the radio, which is probably chart music, and they don't care about Oasis or the Smiths or whatever else that you want to listen to. But it is the way it is. It's your legacy being deleted. Don't matter how big or small you are on this platform. It's still your content and where you started. Exactly. I mean, we've been very fortunate. I don't want to say we've been ahead of the curve with stuff like this. We did stream a lot of copyright music way back in the day. But I think since the beginning of this year, we've just been going with copyright-free music just to be certain that we knew stuff like this would be coming at some point. Not because we're Twitch partners, but the way that music evolves around stuff. There has been people on Twitter accounts that have lost hundreds of thousands of followers because they have posted a clip of their favorite TV show that's had a bit of music in there. There was a Twitter account actually that I follow called Retweet Your Favorite Bands, and obviously all they do is just post 30-second clips of music videos, and they got deleted, and that was like 600,000 followers just gone like that because DMCA took them down and deemed them to be using it inappropriately. It's just the way it is. Music, albeit sets the tone for a lot of things, especially atmospheric games and that. It can be detrimental to your channel. It can be a downfall. I've had to turn off a lot of games now are coming out with DMCA stuff built into it. So if there's any licensed music, it'll just shut it off altogether. Fortnite's one, for instance. You can turn off emotes from other people that have licensed music attributed to it. So it's just one of them things. Hopefully we'll come through the other side of it and Twitch can make a deal or YouTube can make a deal. I mean, if anyone was, it would have been YouTube, and they haven't done it yet with copyright. I mean, at the beginning of the year when we switched it up, Zerka made a playlist of all the grime MCs that wanted their music to still be streamed because they own the masters, they own the license to it, and they agreed to let that happen. So that's why you'll see a lot of people Spotify Wrapped this year who are streamers listening to the likes of AJ Tracy and Gigs and stuff like that because they've allowed their music to be used by consumers over on their streams. I mean, AJ Tracy's class anyway, so why wouldn't you want to listen to him? But even better that he's letting you listen to his music for free. Stream his music for free on Spotify and then pull it through your stream. Why would you not do that? If you are an artist that owns your masters, just let people use it for free on their streams. Obviously using your Spotify account or whatever. However it is, just consume the music, and then you would be the only music style that anybody else was listening to because you've made it free. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Anyway, we have one more news story to go over today. We've been live for about, it says on here 36 minutes, so give or take about half an hour. We said I want it to be like 45 minutes, just so you get some news for today. But we've got one more news article today. Who would have seen this coming? For those of you that have been watching the channel for quite a while, obviously we started to get back into Fortnite last year with the Star Wars event. The new event, Season 5 and Chapter 2, took place 2 days ago with Galacticus getting defeated by the rest of the Marvel Universe. And we have new agents coming through. And the Mandalorian is in the game. If you buy the Battle Pass straight away, Level 1, you get the Mandalorian. I've been playing it yesterday for a couple of hours. It's good. Is it the best? Only time will tell. Only time will tell. However, there may be a new character or a new skin coming to the game that you may never have realised would have happened. So let me get into the news. It looks like Kratos is coming to Fortnite. Hands up in the chat who saw this coming. because it wouldn't be me. It looks like our favourite angry god killer Kratos is coming to Fortnite. Leaked on the PlayStation Store and pretty much confirmed by PlayStation. Fortnite tweet, it appears God of War Kratos is coming to Fortnite. Obviously, Kratos will be PlayStation exclusive, but it's fun to know the man is coming to the game. As you can see by some of the images posted to Reset Era, his weapon also makes an appearance. The tweet features a following incoming transmission. If you click this, it's just audio. We'll forget about that. I forgot about Trey. When to expect the man himself is unknown at present, but surely we'll know more soon. A story trailer for Fortnite chapter 2. Okay, so we've had the Spider-Man come into Marvel, the Marvel game earlier this year. Not too much fanfare, to be perfectly honest, but it was a console exclusive. Now Kratos is coming to the Fortnite on the PlayStation 5 as a PlayStation exclusive. What does that leave Microsoft? Do they bring in characters from Gears of War? Do they bring in the Master Chief? I mean, the Master Chief would be absolutely dynamite. Where does that leave us in terms of licensed content going forward? Making it console exclusive is a big coup for PlayStation in that sense. However, I mean, the other side of the coin, are people on Xbox asked that they're not going to play as Kratos, considering they haven't played it? I don't know. It's weird. Seal Bonza says my lad's loving the new season. He has it. Kratos, I'm definitely throwing everything out and just doing Fortnite now. Says Jim Butters. Gaga says Kratos. You sure that's not base? I mean, they both got cracking beards, so you'd be hard pushed to say no. It might not be. Would love to get Kratos, but he plays on the Xbox. But he plays on Xbox and Nintendo Switch. Yeah, Master Chief. So where does that bring? Are we going to see Mario running around on the Nintendo Switch? Are we going to see Luigi or Yoshi or something like that on the Nintendo Switch? And then on the Xbox, we're going to get a Forza car, or like the Master Chief, or someone from the Gears of War franchise. Who knows? But this does obviously leave a massive door open for the likes of Microsoft and Nintendo. It's Sonic. I would love a Sonic the Hedgehog skin. If Sega want to get involved and just release him, that would be amazing. Or a Pac-Man one. It's kind of endless now. We've had so many different licenses in the game with the likes of Marvel, even throwing in Deadpool as well, and then we've had some DC characters. The Last Laugh bundle that came out recently, which featured Harley Quinn and the Joker, as well as the Batman one previously too. Star Wars, you've been able to be a stormtrooper, trooper Kylo Ren. Not the same person, obviously, a stormtrooper or Kylo Ren. So we've got the sky is the limit, I think, when it comes to Fortnite. I don't even think it'd just be a monetary thing at this point. Being able to play as your favorite character. I mean, as soon as I seen the Mandalorian, I was going to buy the Battle Pass anyway, but I would have genuinely paid for the skin. I like to start a new season with a different skin anyway. However, I think I might just keep Mandalorian for the rest of eternity, especially when I reach level 99 and get Baby Yoda backpack. That would be amazing. But Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, also fantastic shouts. Bring me Marcus Phoenix. I'd play Fortnite then. I mean, is this the type of thing, if it was your favourite character in any game? I mean, let's talk about Leon Kennedy, ladies and gentlemen. Are we going to see a Resident Evil crossover? Are we going to see Chris Redfield? Are we going to see a Jill Valentine repping it around Slurpy Swamp or something? That'll be absolutely amazing. But the sky is kind of the limit when it comes to this kind of stuff now. Would your favourite character make you play it if you don't already play it? I have no idea. It definitely made me and Graham end up playing it over the Christmas period last year. We'd played Fortnite a little bit previously to that, but when you start chucking in lightsabers and laser guns, there is no way that we're not going to turn that down. And obviously, they ended up bringing us in with that, which is fantastic. Someone else says gate characters would be an easy one to do with Epic developing the series. Exactly. So they have got stuff. They could potentially have stuff up the sleeve, but does that mean having them as console exclusives it does lock out the rest of the people that don't have this, but as it's a cross-play game, if I was to buy Kratos, Jesus Christ, and then go and play it on my PC because I could just log my account in, would he then become unavailable to me? I imagine that would be the case. So you could have the same account on 3 different consoles, but each time you play a console, it would be a different character. That could be quite confusing, especially as a V-Bucks. When you buy them on one console, you can't carry them over to the other console unless you earn them through the Battle Pass. So like on my Nintendo Switch, I had 2,000, I think it was, and then when I logged in on PlayStation, I only had 1,000 because that's how many I accrued during the Battle Pass last season. So yeah, it's weird how they do it. But I imagine it's just to stop people from scalping the cheaper option available on different platforms. So I can see why that one would work. But yeah, I mean, that is literally all the stories that we had today. It was just going to be a very watered down 45-minute show. I think we've done it in 40. I appreciate every single one of you that have stopped by, the hosts, the subs, all of you that have joined me in the chat today to be able to do this. I know it was always going to be a one-sided conversation, but I just wanted to make sure that we get something out for you guys that are expecting it. This spot is at 10 a.m. ish is our very hot spot. We love to be able to do this so that when the Americans wake up, they get to have it as soon as they wake up, and you guys in the morning get to wake up with a coffee and listen to a Mancunian, two Northers talk about video games. So we very much appreciate each and every one of you that stick around in the morning. Best scoop ever, says Asim. Ish says Epic Skill, love it. Don't tell Graham. Catch you all again, guys. So yeah, I will be ending this transmission. But I will be jumping back on with some video games. I think it will be Days Gone. It was a toss-up between that or Fortnite. But yeah, I think we're like halfway through Days Gone, so I think I'm going to continue with that one. I was meant to be playing golf at 1 p.m. today, but as is Manchester, it is pissing it down and the course is waterlogged. So we could be able to play for a couple of hours this morning, going into this afternoon. But I appreciate every single one of you that have stopped by. Don't forget, you can get involved with the show as well. You can find us on social media platforms. It's at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social platforms. You can join us in our Discord as well. I can't provide you with the link, but the chances are you'll be watching this on demand anyway. So get yourself down into the description. The link will be in there for you. All you need to do is drop in the URL, add your thoughts and impressions. We will bring you thoughts and impressions in the very next show, which will be out tomorrow. What time tomorrow, Game Day? 10 a.m. ish. Around that time tomorrow. The only way you can find out is by following us on social media platforms. We've got Abinio on social media. Graham is obviously Graham_day. If you haven't already wished him a happy birthday, please go over to Twitter and do so. I'm fairly certain he's going to be in a food coma by now, produced by Mrs. Danny Day. She makes some huge amounts of food that Graham loves to post on social media. So if you haven't done already, please feel free to go over and wish him a happy birthday. He'll be back on Monday. But guys, until tomorrow, it's been an absolute pleasure. And don't forget 2 words. Let's stay frosty.